without envy. It is not boastful, it is not ill-mannered, nor does it seek its own interests. Love overcomes anger and forgets offenses. It does not take delight in wrong, but rejoices in truth. Love excuses everything, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. These attributes of love were visibly manifested in the life of my mother, Cecilia Francis James. Cecilia was born on the 23rd of April 1928 in Cox Village, Nevis. She was the third of 4 children born to Charles Henry Morton and Rosanna Rollins Morton. Her siblings, Edmund, who is very present with us this afternoon. A younger sister, Elizabeth, who is deceased. And of course, the baby of the family, who lives in Canada, Rita, and who regrettably is not here with us today due to ill health. In 1936, a year after Ansel died, her mother relocated to St. Kitts with her family. She was only 8 years old. However, neither she nor her siblings ever forgot their division needs. Working at home and raising 4 children could not have been an easy task for my widowed grandmother. She, however, ensured that while her children may have lacked some material things, they were always cared for and were brought up with strong Christian values. Ansel and her sister Rita, affectionately known to our family as Auntie Baby, were educated at St. Joseph Catholic School. The family was a very loving and close-knit one, which began to blossom and grow when in 1947, my older cousin Janice arrived. Pam arrived later in 1949, and of course, I joined the two, making it a trio later in 1949, and the 3 of us were part of the Morton household. When my grandmother died, Uncle Edmund became the patriarch of the family. And on 22nd August 1957, he took unto himself the beautiful and adorable Agnes Rice as his longtime and still his partner today. Agnes, who is here with him this afternoon, his wife, their wife. Their children later joined them and became part of the Morton clan. Auntie Baby was the next to expand the family after she fell in love and married James' son Warner. In December 1969, my mom married a longtime lover, Kenneth James, a tall, handsome gentleman. They became the proud parents of my baby brother Curtis and my beautiful and adorable sister who sang a few minutes ago. Ansel had a deep and abiding faith in God. As you heard from Reverend Gill, she was a devout Methodist, an ardent churchgoer, a member of the Wesley Senior Choir, and one who could always be relied on to assist the church with any task, including, of course, the preparation of food for the annual church bazaar. She served as a class leader and for several years was one of the stewards responsible for counting the weekly offering, I remember right back here on Monday evenings. Ansel was a person who strongly believed in Christian unity and often accompanied my wife Junie to special services and functions held by the Catholic community. Indeed, Archbishop Rees became one of her close family friends. As a civil servant for many years, Ansel was well known for her professionalism and for providing professional service at all times to the general public. She was well liked, respected by fellow employees and the public alike. Ansel had several hobbies. She loved reading, especially newspapers and listening to the news. And she was always up to date on both world affairs and local events. Win FM Voices program has certainly lost a loyal fan. She was a member of the Golden Age Club, and many of her crochet pieces can still be seen in her living room at Birdwalk. She was an ardent cricket fan, and you didn't have to ask who she was backing when St. Kitts was playing a match against Nevis. She was a proud division. She was passionate about her politics. She hated injustice, but she never allowed politics to come between her family, her friends, or her neighbors. Since her death, I received a long letter from Mr. Earl Clark expressing his sympathy. A letter in which he referred to my mother, and I quote, "A wonderful, friendly, genuine, humble person who could easily be described as an angel in human form." End of quote. Ansel was indeed an angel in human form. She was a member of the National Women's School and never missed an independence ball or a PAM convention until just recently when she became it. In 2003, she was recognized by East Bastia People's Action Movement Group for her service to the community at large. One of Ansel's favorite hobbies was shopping. She was indeed a shopaholic. Until her recent relapse, it was customary to see Ansel and Berta each and every Saturday busily shopping around town. When overseas, Ansel would spend hours in the mall, much to the delight of her sister, nieces, grandmother, and other family members who all declared that she had an impeccable sense of style and fashion. I have to admit, however, that in St. Kitts, without any prejudice, she always declared, of course, her favorite shopping place was TDC Home. Love is patient and kind. Truly, Ansel was a kind and caring person. Since her passing, her brother, Uncle Edmund, reminded me of how when antagonists had to be hospitalized after the birth of their first son, Dale, she immediately took up residence at his house to rescue him in cooking and caring and looking after Dale while he kept crying and crying. Still crying. Over the years, she continued to reach out for others. She spent many afternoons visiting not only close friends, but also the sick, the elderly, and lonely. She would faithfully visit them at their homes, in nursing homes, and in the hospital. When her husband, Kenneth, succumbed to a stroke and could no longer be active as he was accustomed. She was, or she became, his loving companion and caregiver until his death in April 2002. Ansel's generosity knew no bounds. She willingly shared whatever she had, especially with the less fortunate. She constantly gave of her time, her talent, and what little treasure she had here on earth. Love overcomes anger and forgets offenses. Ansel's unconditional love for her children was beyond compare. She loved us all dearly and was proud of our achievements and enjoyed our company. She was extremely happy when, a long, long time ago, I won't tell you how many years ago, when I got married and provided her with grandchildren and now great-grandchildren. Curtis was not just a son to her, but her assistant nurse during the difficult years of his father's illness. He was also a maintenance man around the house and the one who helped care for her beloved dogs, Rambo and Kira. But her greatest and I think most exciting moment came over Curtis's life when finally he decided to get married and was Ansel's beloved and favorite daughter. Her best friend and constant companion, and after her illness, caregiver as well. My mother often referred humorously to Verda, who she had in late in life, as her old age pension. Indeed, you were a Verda. Ansel was not only a devoted and loving mother, but also a mother-in-law, grandmother, great-grandmother, sister, and aunt. She was very protective of all of her loved ones. Beneath her calm, smiling exterior, however, lay a sleeping tiger which could suddenly wake if she felt one of her own was being threatened or treated unjustly. She always told it as it was, and never hesitated to give us, or anyone else, a peace of her mind if she thought it necessary. She loved being with family and enjoyed many Morton's and Herbert's family get-together and celebrations. She was an excellent cook and was always happy to make us a special pumpkin, eggplant, macaroni pies, etc. But favorite amongst her cuisine was, of course, the local drinks of ginger beer, and at Christmas, the sorry, and the other homemade drinks, which, of course, children, grandchildren, friends, all look forward to sharing. She never forgot family birthdays, and we all look forward to her specially selected gifts, and the younger ones in particular, money in the sealed envelopes. Birthdays, very special in our family. And I know today, as we gather here, not to mourn, but to celebrate the life of my mother, you would ask, why this day is still so special to all of us. Special in many ways. In particular, I know my mother would never forgive me if I were to, not on this occasion, recognize and to publicly say to you that today, on this 9th day of October, her favorite and only daughter, Bertha, is celebrating her 40th birthday. Bertha, I know it is difficult on this day, but it is a day of celebration. And I would now ask you to stand, and I would ask the congregation to join me in singing happy birthday to my sister.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bertha. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Love endures all things. Ansel was a lady of great faith, humility, and courage. In spite of the challenges she faced in life, her faith in God never faltered. When she was diagnosed with cancer in March 2009 and was told it was incurable, she accepted it with dignity, never complaining, and opted not to receive any surgical treatment. My auntie baby in Canada learned of her illness, promptly traveled to St. Kitts to be with her and to assist where possible. Many other family members living in Canada did likewise, thinking, of course, it would be the last time they would see my dear mother. But she had news for them. By the grace of God, and the wonderful attention given by her physician, the honored Dr. Cabell Hobson, and the loving care of Verna, she was able to overcome the first bout of her illness. For almost 3.5 years, she defied the odds and continued to live with the same energy and exuberance as before. So much so, when Auntie Baby celebrated her 80th birthday in 2010, she traveled to Canada with brother, Junie, and I to be with her sister. I needn't tell you how she parted, danced, and showed up the younger ones. She always enjoyed visiting family members, especially those who resided in Canada, and treasured the quality time she spent with them. Her Warner Hart and Edgell families all have fond memories of her Canadian vacations. When in April this year, Ansel found out that her baby sister was now in Canada, she quickly decided to travel to Canada to be with her sister and to show her how she had beaten the odds. She spent approximately 3 months there, giving moral support to her, much comfort and good company, and indeed assisted in nursing her back to reasonably good health. On the 18th of July, she flew down from Montreal to vacation with Junie and I, Nigel and Ophelia, Carrie-Ann, Andre. Dear children, what a wonderful vacation we had in Miami with her. It was after her return to St. Kitts on the 23rd of July 2012. She soon began to realize that her health had deteriorated. This she accepted with her usual courage and cheerfulness and her firm faith in God, and she never went so far. She even went so far to select from her closet a dress she is wearing today, having washed it, ironed it, and handed it to Brother and said, "This is what I wish to wear when I pass." Her preparation started back then. She, in her days in hospital, continued to be quite positive. She was happy, however, to see all who visited her, many times flashing her usual winsome and infectious smile. She was, however, constantly reminding us that she was ready to go, even complaining that the doctors were keeping her back. Such was her abiding love for her Savior, that she eagerly prepared to meet him, telling us that she had already seen the light. So it was at exactly 10 minutes past 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, 2nd October 2012. While those of us at her bedside sang the favorite Methodist hymns, Ansel quietly asked peacefully to her with a beloved Lord and was sincere. Surely there must have been joy in heaven to see this angel being moved on to a Savior's arms. St. Paul, in his description of love, proclaims, "And now abides faith, hope, love. These three, but the greatest of all is love." Love is Ansel's legacy to us, a treasure more than silver or gold. It is now up to us as family and friends to take up a mantle so that we too, when we come to the end of our own life's journey, we may hear those wonderful words from our Divine Master. "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Well done. On behalf of the family, I would like to thank all of you present this afternoon, especially those who have traveled from Nevis and from overseas to be with us today, and also to the many persons who have extended sympathy to our family. Your presence today, as well as the outpouring of love and concern during her illness, is testimony of the many lives that she touched during her 84 years here on this earth. Curtis and I would like to publicly thank you for the loving care you have given to our mother over the years. She could not have asked for a better daughter. And I'm so happy that you have indeed, I think, possessed many of the positive attributes that she has. And so I comfort myself in knowing that I still have someone like you and as my mother. Thank you. Today, as we celebrate Ansel's life with joy and thanksgiving, assured that she is now basking in the rapture and radiance of God's love, let us use her as our inspiration for our own journey with confidence, loudly proclaiming in the words of one of her favorite hymns, "We are marching to Zion. Beautiful, beautiful Zion. We are marching upward to Zion, that beautiful